Next, we will celebrate Pedro Flores Gallardo. He received the Cliff and Penny Crutchfield Scholarship, which is awarded annually to doctoral students in the area of occupational and environmental health. Pedro is working toward his PhD in environmental health sciences, so please join me to congratulate and welcome Pedro Gallardo.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. So I'm really humbled and honored to be speaking to you today and be the recipient of the Cliff and Penny Crutchfield Scholarship for this year. My name is Pedro Flores Gallardo, and I'm a first-generation immigrant, a first-generation college student, a non-traditional student, and a person with disability and a father. I'm a first-year PhD student in environmental health sciences program with focus on exposure science and occupational health. I'm originally from a city called Los Mochis in the state of Sinaloa in Mexico. I immigrated to the United States when I was 16 years old. I was fortunate enough at the time to complete high school and attend community college here in Tucson, which was my stepping stone into higher education. At the time, I was not eligible for in-state tuition at the University of Arizona, so I ended up moving to the state of Minnesota by myself to attend a state university that offered in-state tuition to all students. I spent 2 years away from all the people and actually everything that I knew, but those 2 years were sometimes some of the hardest times. Those were times of being homesick, times of depression, times of hunger, times of being treated differently, but also times of joy and happiness. At the end, I made it through, and I was able to complete my bachelor's degree in chemistry. Upon graduation, I moved back to Tucson and eventually got employed as a chemist, and later on, I will venture into the occupational health and safety field. I spent 10 years forming myself as a professional. During most of those years, I was able to work in academia with different groups of people, but I only met one person like me. And what do I mean by that? It was a person of color and a person with a physical disability. That particular person was a student who is blind. And he was the one who got picked on when I heard the most discouraging words from a person that I really looked up to. And that person didn't know that I have myself a physical disability, but that person told me there were he said there were certain people who should not be pursuing certain careers because they're not cut for them because of their disabilities. Those words really got to me in a really hurtful way, but um, so that person who said those words didn't know um, that I have a hand malformation, and I've been living with that all my life with that condition. However, it always affected my self-esteem because I've been subjected, being to being ridiculed or even being discriminated. But those words from that person, were when he said that, it was the starting point when I really opened my eyes and said to myself, if I've been able to get here myself, why can't everyone else? Since then, I have devoted my free time to promote science and encouraging people from underprivileged backgrounds like me so they can be whoever they want and telling them that there's always a way to do it. This is the first time that I'm speaking openly in public about my physical condition. All my life, I've been hiding it in search of acceptance. But I have realized that loving and accepting yourself the way that you are, it is the uniqueness that sets you apart from everybody else. Also, I have realized that what is considered a disability is actually your ability and power to make your way into life. When I started my career in occupational health and safety, I was able to get a peek of many occupational industries and the conditions the workers have to work in. This is one of the main reasons why I decided to pursue public health. I hope that I can engage in research and to address and close gaps that exist in the occupational health field that contributes to health disparities with workers from marginalized communities. One of my proudest moments recently is becoming a father. I have my daughter right there. You may hear her. My beautiful wife and I have a daughter, Zoe, in November 2021. I finished my master's degree in chemistry in the spring of 2022, and I was able to achieve it while I was working full time, being a full time student, and being a brand new father. I truly commend all of those individuals that have gone through so much in their lives to achieve their academic goals because we truly become resilient and face adversity when we have purpose. My wife Maria and daughter, like I mentioned, they're here today, and I just want to tell them that I love them and that my dreams are theirs too. Um, being the recipient of the Clef and Penny Crutchfield Scholarship made an immense impact on my life, especially as a first-year PhD student. When I discussed with my wife coming back to school full time, it was a really hard decision to make because I have to leave my previous job and we will be more financially constrained. The scholarship has allowed me to take care of financial obligations and let me concentrate on my studies. This is possible because of donors like you, and you help students and make a direct impact in their lives to continue reaching our goals without the distractions of having to worry about some of the expenses associated with being a student. My father always told me that the best inheritance that he could leave to his children is education, and all of you are part of that educational inheritance that we're all receiving. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart for your time and your generosity. Thank you so much.